Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Hopefully everybody is having a great day so far. Let's see what we have on in here in today's live stream. We have Ben, we have Jake, we also have Caden, as well as Indiana. We have Trimmer in here, Sam, Rockets, Jim, Random, Haley, Pez. Let me go up just a little bit here, see if we had anyone else join in earlier. Carson in here as well. Glad to see you guys all in here for another live stream on the channel, and as well as everybody else who is watching and may not be chatting. Glad to have you here as well. Oh, gracious. Harp, Robert, Brittany, Victoria. Let's see. ALT. And yeah, let's go ahead and get right on into this. I don't want to stay on this scene for too long. Hopefully that is good. Yep, we are good to go. So yeah, earlier today, I guess we'll just start with a little bit of a recap on today's severe weather event. Maybe a bit of a flash warning here. So earlier on today, we did actually end up getting a strong tornado that tore through portions just southwest of Mobile, Alabama. Quite a lot of people were actually impacted by that storm. I don't know how many damage reports we've received from that. You can read one right there. A large tree limb that came through their roof. So there is definitely some damage that was definitely done in that area. Almost went live for that, but the National Weather Service did not pull the PDS trigger for that. We also had a tornado on the ground up here near Waynesboro in Mississippi. I believe that produced 2 tornadoes. Then we had another tornado out here in Wiggins, and we had another tornado back out here south of Mobile, a second one. And I don't know if that actually moved on shore. It was a massive water spout. That actually... right there, it says wispy condensation funnel knocking over some tree debris from a nearby bridge. So it looks like that might have actually stayed on the ground and moved on shore there. So we most likely did have a small scale tornado outbreak today. I think we saw about 6 tornadoes overall today. So definitely a little bit more on the high side of what we were anticipating. But still, they were all confined to that large marginal risk that we had in place over Mississippi, Alabama, and portions of the peninsula of Florida there. And that's just a quick recap on what happened earlier today. Now, tomorrow is a completely different story than the risk that we have currently in effect for today's risk. But this is for tomorrow here, and a very, very, very large risk for severe weather has been issued from the Storm Prediction Center. If you tuned into yesterday's live stream, we took a look at this as it was on the day 3 outlook. Now we are on the day 2 outlook. At this current time, which is the Actually, the 1730Z update, the National Weather Service actually has just about 35 million people under the gun for severe weather in tomorrow's risk alone. This includes over 3.4 million people with the chance of potentially long-tracked significant tornadoes, an additional around 3 million people for the potential of 70 to 75 mile per hour winds, and an additional 11 million people for the potential of up to 2-inch in diameter hail. We'll go over all those probabilities in just a moment. Right after I show you the day 3 risk here, this risk will continue to the east, pushing a marginal risk level 1 all the way up into northeastern Ohio, southwestern Pennsylvania, back down into most of the state of Virginia, the entire state of North and South Carolina, as well as Georgia, with that marginal risk continuing into portions of Alabama and Florida as well. I do think we could see a enhanced risk for probably damaging winds introduced somewhere inside this slight risk for severe weather. It may be on the southern edge, it may be on the northern edge, but either way, the greatest tornado threat is definitely going to be on the southern edge of this risk for severe weather. We'll go over some possible scenarios, as well as some new models that will be rendering in here in about an hour for this particular severe threat on day 3. Main threat with this, though, according to the National Weather Service in Raleigh, North Carolina, will be a couple of tornadoes possible, some large hail around 1 inch in diameter, as well as damaging winds near 60 miles per hour. So according to according to the National Weather Service in Raleigh, this is a slight risk for tornadoes, damaging winds, and a marginal risk for large hail. But we don't have probabilities on that just yet because it is on the day 3 outlook and not day 2. Switching back on over to day 2, which is tomorrow, here's a look at your tornado outlook for tomorrow. As expected, we have a very large 10 significant chance for tornadoes that includes states of Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. This is for the potential of long-tracked strong tornadoes that could track from portions of eastern Texas, western Louisiana, potentially all the way through Mississippi and Alabama. We'll go over some model runs there that actually realizes that potential, which includes the 18Z HRRR model run. They have expanded this in all directions. They've expanded it further to the south than what it was yesterday, further to the west than what it was yesterday, further to the north than what it was yesterday, and as well as further to the east than it was yesterday. I do think this risk will be expanded substantially eastward to include the metro areas of Birmingham, possibly as far east as Montgomery. Most likely Tuscaloosa will be included in that nocturnal potential for strong tornadoes overnight. I don't think we'll see that be pushed back much westward. If we do see it get pushed back westward, it will just be a very small extension, but I do expect a large extension to the east here, as models have been uptrending on the nocturnal severe weather potential in Mississippi, Alabama, maybe even into portions of Florida as well. I also do believe we will see a moderate risk introduced for tomorrow. Again, we'll go over possible solutions, but at the moment, I do think we'll see a moderate risk somewhere in this general vicinity here. I'm still a little bit questioning exactly where that moderate risk may be, because there is some model uncertainty, but I do believe we'll see a moderate risk generally in eastern Louisiana, a good chunk of central Mississippi, and probably going into western Alabama as well. That should be a moderate risk for tornadoes. I don't think we're going to see a hazard that's going to be more concerning than the tornado threat. So right now that is at a 10 significant tornado risk, but I think that will be upgraded to 15 sig tomorrow. Wind threat, we probably will end up with a 30 hatched wind threat. I would imagine probably on the east side of this risk. Maybe for Jackson, Meriden, and is that Hadesburg, or I forgot how you pronounce that. I know somebody was in our live stream earlier this year and they got on me for pronouncing that, and I remembered it, but now I have forgotten it. I know I butchered that. But yeah, I think we will see a 30 sig wind in that region. I'll show you again on some model solutions on why. And hail, I'm not too sure about that, to be honest with you. I really don't know about the hail threat here. I think we could see 2, maybe up to 2.5 inch hail, but I don't feel like hail will be the main concern here. I feel like it will be tornadoes and damaging winds, with hail kind of being an on the side severe weather risk. Any supercells that could be very well established could produce, that 2-inch hail potential. And if that does happen, it would most likely be somewhere in Mississippi as well. I think Mississippi is going to be the state that ends up with the most severe weather out of tomorrow's risk. Let's go ahead and dive on into some model data here. But before that, I do want to go check on some supercell action that we are seeing out here in Mississippi and Alabama right now. You can see we actually have a classic supercell signature over here. Ooh, that actually looks crazy. That's west of Mount Vernon, Alabama. We are joined by Lucky, and I'm actually going to alert him to that. Wake up. Right on time, too.
I'm up.
You see that supercell northwest, or rather west of Mount Vernon, Alabama? It's not tight, but it's definitely increasing in rotation. It's the same storm we've been looking at for a long time.
Okay.
It's the farthest east one. You see it?
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to point that out and also say hello.
What up? What's up, TOG chat? How is everyone?
Hopefully you're all good.
Yeah, hopefully y'all are good.
Yeah, but keep an eye on that because it could definitely produce a weak tornado.
Oh, yeah. I went over the ingredients like mesoanalysis. It's in the only thing that I think is limiting is a cape. But that is because we are moving into obviously nighttime hours and the capping is starting to build in.
Yeah, capping. It is definitely moving out of instability.
Yeah.
It's probably only working with about 250 to 500.
I may be able to sustain this singular storm. That's it.
Is this a little bit north? No, this is like right. Yeah. Yeah,
it's 250, 500.
It's probably right at that 500, 250 range. Yep. Right where I thought it was. Alrighty, I'm going to go dive on into some model runs.
Yes, sir. Let me know if you've seen anything that I have probably not covered yet. I went over almost
every product. Lucky I would just be talking the whole time, buddy.
I know. I'm still going to be talking. Don't worry.
Talking about things you haven't covered? Jeez, I might as well not mute. Alrighty. Let's go back on... Well, let's go to our model runs. Can't say back on over to our model runs because we haven't been there yet today. Let's hope this screen works. Okay, it did work. Perfect. So we're going to dive right on into our... I first want to just check 23 ZHRRR. Yeah, we could still see a brief spin-up tornado over the next 4-5-ish hours out here, southeastern Mississippi, southern Alabama into western Florida. But nothing that looks, worthy of coverage. Very low tornado risk, 2%, exactly what they have. Let's move on over to our 18 ZHRRR. This is the one that's going to go all the way out 48 hours, all the way till Sunday afternoon. And this is going to be here at 8 p.m. tomorrow morning, where we will already be seeing confluence bands here moving up in towards southern Alabama. So there's actually a chance that we're already seeing areas of rotation heading to Alabama by the time we're getting up here at 7, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern time. We'll also have very widespread rain showers over much of Louisiana and eastern Texas, which is where our risk area is as we go towards 8 and 9 p.m., or rather 8 and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Pulling that forward here, you'll see the HRRR model run. It rapidly develops two main areas of severe weather potential here. And I want to switch this over. There you go. So HRRR rapidly develops this area for severe weather potential as well as this area right in here. You'll see those two develop. I'll pull it back till this is 7 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon. And you can see by noon, we're most likely already going to have some severe storms popping off out here just east of the DFW area in Texas and probably in southern Arkansas into northeastern Louisiana and west central Mississippi. Now, if this does not happen, there's two solutions here. If that morning convection does not happen as significantly as what the HRRR anticipates, we will have a widespread significant tornado outbreak tomorrow because that will allow for our warm sector to get very, very favorable for long track strong to maybe even violent tornadoes if we don't see that morning convection happen. So even though we really want that morning convection to happen, it's also going to be a bad thing, because if we move this forward, that morning convection is actually going to be able to move into a very favorable environment for strong tornadoes. Maybe not long track tornadoes, but strong tornadoes as we go towards 1:30, 2 p.m. Eastern time out here in Mississippi into western Alabama. And you can see here the 18Z HRRR does actually have quite a few areas here. Probably some tornadic activity in northeastern Mississippi, but primarily the potential for strong tornadoes as you go into central and south central Mississippi towards 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. Also, multiple semi-discrete supercells out here towards 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time in Louisiana, maybe into eastern Texas as well as you go through that exact same time frame. We'll probably see a little break in severe weather, potentially a little break in severe weather as we go towards 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern. And then as that lower level jet kicks up, we will see a rapid increase in the potential for significant tornadoes. You can see the HRRR has prefrontal supercells moving up into central Alabama as we go through 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we also have that line of damaging winds moving through at that exact same time as well, 10, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Now we're going to move on over here so we could see this a bit better. And watch what happens as we go towards 1 to 2 a.m. Look at this. In central Alabama, we get this line of QLCS potential, so pretty much brief spin-up tornadoes in central, or rather most of Alabama into southeastern Mississippi. And you'll also see these bands out in front of it. Those are part of your confluence bands from the Gulf of Mexico. Those bands could also promote the potential for long-tracked significant tornadoes if they do occur. Moving towards 2 a.m. tomorrow night, you can see those bands continue feeding in towards central Alabama, east central Alabama, and then finally, as that line meets that confluence band, the threat begins to die down, most likely around 4, 5 a.m. Sunday morning. And then as we go through Sunday, really early Sunday morning, we'll continue with that more messy mode. And then getting towards 9, 10 a.m. Sunday morning here, we'll start to see that potential for a strong tornado or two probably increase in southern Georgia into Florida. And then we'll see that chance for tornadoes begin to increase up here in the Carolinas as well. I would not be too surprised if we end up with a 10 significant tornado risk to encompass that risk of potential strong tornadoes very early Sunday morning. If we do, it would be the early morning hours where we see that risk for strong tornadoes. So that 10 sig, the enhanced risk, would be like right on the edge of that marginal risk as well as that slight risk. It wouldn't be like a midday thing. It would be right on the edge, right as we transfer from the National Weather Service's valid time for, Saturday into Sunday morning, into Monday morning, because their times change at 12Z, which is 7 a.m. So the outlook for tomorrow is valid from 7 a.m. What is tomorrow? 7 a.m. Saturday morning to 7 a.m. Sunday morning. And then the next outlook is valid from 7 a.m. Sunday morning to 7 a.m. Monday morning. So we would have that enhanced risk for just the morning hours of strong tornado potential. I don't think we will see strong tornado potential in the afternoon or evening hours out here. Like I said, it will be what is left over from tomorrow's event moving into Sunday morning. Lawrence County, Mississippi. Let me see here. I'll quickly go check that. So you are in south central Mississippi. You definitely want to be hyper weather aware for tomorrow. Right in the middle of that risk, I think you could actually be upgraded to a higher risk, a moderate risk for severe weather. So unfortunately, you're right in the middle of the potential for long track strong tornadoes, 70-mile-per-hour winds, and 2-inch hail all being possible. So please be very weather aware tomorrow. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings. Now, there is some uncertainty with tomorrow, so if anybody gives you any exact time frame of strong tornadoes, there's a pretty good chance they're going to be wrong. But our first round should start in the early afternoon hours. Like I said, it's a little bit too difficult to pinpoint when. It could vary anytime from 11 a.m. all the way till like 3, 4 p.m. before you see that first round. It's just going to depend greatly, so I'm not really wanting to give a forecast on that time frame because I don't want to end up being vastly wrong. Think Virginia has a tornado threat on Sunday? Yeah, South Central Virginia will have a tornado threat. National Weather Service Blacksburg mentioned that. Peak tornado threat? Geez, man, it's like all day tomorrow. It really is. I mean, you're going to have multiple different peaks. You're probably going to get a peak around 3 to 6 p.m., then another peak around 8 or maybe 9 to 10 p.m. You're going to get another peak here towards 1 to 3 a.m., and then finally it will start to to end. So it shouldn't be like one long road of multiple strong long track tornadoes. It should be split up. Do you think a moderate risk could be issued tomorrow over a tiny area of Mississippi? I personally, if they pull moderate, I think it's going to be a pretty big moderate. If they pull a moderate risk, I feel like it could go from maybe as far as east central Louisiana through Mississippi into Alabama. So I think they could pull a big moderate risk, but that's going to depend on morning observations. That is so important. What the atmosphere looks like at 7, 8 a.m. will determine everything for tomorrow. Like I said, if this model is wrong with this morning convection happening, that will be horrific. Because if that morning convection doesn't happen, that will leave a full open warm sector for the second round, which could, if that morning convection doesn't happen, that second round could actually spawn violent tornadoes. But right now, we are thinking that we're going to see that first round of early morning convection that will sweep through, use some of the energy, then we'll see the second round come through. So it will kind of split up the atmosphere. Instead of you having your morning energy and your afternoon energy combined into one in the evening, you're going to have that morning energy used up in the morning and afternoon. And then in the evening, you're going to have it use up more energy with that second round. That's another thing. There will not be one round of severe weather. There will be multiple rounds. Some people may experience 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tornado warnings tomorrow because of how many supercells we're going to have out there. We're going to have these confluence bands that continue to feed up into Mississippi. And you can see here, let's just try to kind of count this out here on the HRRR. There's already one tornadic supercell here, 1 p.m. on the HRRR. Here's another one back out here. You can see that moves north, and then you have more out here in southwest Mississippi, more in Louisiana. Those move up to the northeast. More confluence bands form behind that, feeding more supercells up into central Mississippi. You have your main line pushing through, which actually has 2 different lines here on the HRRR. You can see one here and one behind that as well. So we're not talking about just one single sweep of a dry line cold front pushing through. Tonight, I don't think you'll be getting bad weather in New Orleans tonight, but, I mean, there is definitely a chance towards, like, 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Eastern, so that's 8:30 p.m. Central, that you could see some heavy rain showers. I don't think you're going to see a tornado threat. Actually, the HRRR might be wrong in that. Yeah, actually, it is wrong. Your rain's passing now. Your rain's passing now. That's another thing. Our model runs are going to be wrong like that. But New Orleans, I would be watching tomorrow as well. You're right on that edge of the, oh, yeah, you're on the edge of the slight risk. You're in that 5% chance for tornadoes. So I would be watching, definitely would be watching tomorrow more. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the live stream, it'd be much appreciated if you could hit that like button, help us reach the YouTube algorithm. We're probably going to be doing a longer live weather briefing today. I kind of want to stay here until we see the 0Z HRRR rendering, so that way I can give you guys that latest information. Let's see here. This is from the National Weather Service out there in central Alabama and western Alabama. They're saying 3 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the time frame in western Alabama, with 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. in central Alabama. So you can see that massive window of storms opportunity there. A very, very large window. And we could even have storms before that. Like I said, it's all going to depend on that confluence band. We're going to have a lot of bands that set up out here in the Gulf of Mexico. And those bands may survive as they go into Mississippi and Alabama towards the early morning hours of tomorrow. So definitely want to be keeping a very, very close eye on that. And I want to go ahead and show you guys the SPC outlook. So this is tomorrow's outlook. Like I said, I think we'll see a moderate risk for tornadoes introduced. But again, that depends big time on what we see tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is very, very important. A lot of uncertainties will be worked out tomorrow morning. Yeah, I do think Sunday will be upgraded to enhanced risk. There's a little bit too many uncertainties right now to say exactly where, but it looks like we'll have some very early morning hours, strong tornado potential somewhere out here in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and then probably quite significant damaging wind potential up here in the Carolinas into Virginia. But it's a little hard to predict exactly if the SPC will upgrade to enhanced, just based on what I've seen with models. Strong tornadoes in the southwest side of the slight risk in the morning hours, and then damaging winds in the afternoon and evening, and then into the overnight hours out there in Virginia, North Carolina. This area here will most likely experience 2 rounds of severe weather, one towards the 3 p.m. time frame, and then one towards maybe the 9 p.m. time frame. It looks like we'll experience 2 rounds out there, but that could change. That's the thing. All it takes is the slightest shift in our trough ejection, and the entire threat in terms of how many rounds, just 1 round, and maybe how significant it will be, could completely change. So just remember that. This is based off of information we have now. What that information looks like tomorrow, well, hopefully it downtrends. Hopefully it downtrends for Louisiana, Mississippi. But like I said, there's not really a good scenario there, because if we get storms in the morning hours out here in Mississippi, Louisiana, that's going to go and cause severe weather and tornadoes in Mississippi and Alabama in the early afternoon hours. If we don't get that morning convection, then the second round could produce potentially violent tornadoes. So there's 2 different, there's 2 different scenarios there where the convection does form and where it doesn't form in the morning hours, and neither of them are really good for Mississippi and Louisiana. Now, there's other bust modes here. There's other bust modes, like we could just simply see way too much convection to the point where all these storms are just compiled into one big messy rain shower. There's also, not enough instability being pushed northward. So there's a few bust modes for this storm system, but they're not really like big bust modes. Even storm mode being messy, it still looks like even if we have a messy mode that we're going to see strong tornadoes. Even if we see so many messy modes like this, we're going to see confluence bands that push northward and potentially bring strong tornadoes. So I don't see a way how we're not looking at strong tornadoes tomorrow. But we're either going to be looking at, a strong tornado or 2, or we're going to be looking at a significant tornado outbreak, one or the other. And like I said, I don't really know which one's going to be better for which way here. Like less convection for the morning round, or more convection for the morning round. I mean, both of them's bad, because again, if we see more convection, that leads to more severe weather. Less convection leads to more severe weather with the first line, or technically with the second line cold front that comes through. What do you think that tornado was today? What do you mean? We had like 6 tornadoes today from what I've seen. Let me see. Palmer, don't you live in... Is it... Montgomery? That's where you are. I forget. I know we have someone in Alexandria, and then you're in Montgomery. We have 2 pretty long-time viewers from both of those areas. But yeah, you definitely want to be watching out. That's the problem here with exact forecast, is we just don't know right now. We just don't exactly know what you will see. We know generally that this entire area is under the risk for significant tornadoes, but a more focused area of, really high significant tornado potential hasn't been outlined yet. Just this whole entire slight risk is favorable for significant tornadoes. Wherever the storms form, that's going to be where they will have a better chance of happening. Yeah, I agree with that, Timmer. That's what I agree with. We're either going to see like one or two strong tornadoes, or we're literally going to be dealing with multiple strong tornadoes on the ground at the same time. And like I said, both of them are bad scenarios. There's not really a good scenario for tomorrow. That's why the SPC outlined that enhanced risk 3 days in advance. Because, like I said, regardless of that storm mode and regardless of morning convection, it just seems like we're going to see strong tornadoes tomorrow. This is the NAM 3K here. I just wouldn't listen to the NAM, honestly. Like, there's every now and then I check on the NAM model, but I swear it's always been a terrible model run. But one thing I could just show you really quick is the ingredients from the NAM 3K. So you could see here, very favorable. Very, very, very favorable. Very favorable ingredients. 23Z goes out far enough. Let's see. Let's check between the two. So that's 23Z for 17Z Saturday. And this is 18Z for 17Z Saturday. It looks like a little bit of downtrend on supercell composite there. Ooh. Oh, wow. That, like, completely changed. Look at the difference in the warm sector here. Hold on. Let me open two different pages. This might be trending a little bit worse because that convection, that morning convection, may be trending northward, which in that case, you can see that very volatile environment for strong tornadoes. And let me just show you the 18Z here. Okay, we're going to change this to the 23Z. There we go. 17, that's 23Z HRRR. Here's 18Z HRRR. We're going to go to the same time frame on the same map all the way out to 17Z. Yeah, look at that. Also, please note how much sharper your cold front is up here into Texas. Look at that. That is a substantial uptrend with that singular model run. Again, old model run, new model run. Old model run, new model run. Old, new. You can see how it moves more north and there's more instability. Old one here in southern Louisiana, about 2,800 joules. New one, what, 3,000, maybe even up to 3,100 in southeastern Texas. Which I don't know if that's a really bad uptrend there. Just comparing the convecutive initiation there, you can just see that there's more clearing as a whole south of that black line in this area here. That whole area is clearer. Again, old model run here, new model run here. Let's see. That's wind shear for the new model. And actually, I don't want to look at wind shear. What I want to look at is 0 to 3 kilometer wind shear. 0 to 3 kilometer wind shear. So this is the old one, new one. It just looks better. It just simply looks better. Like, it just seems like it's more organized on the new model run in terms of shear placement. Like, you can see this large area of very much well-defined favorable wind shear, whereas on this one, see how it's kind of scattered? You have this little pocket here, but then you have like purples and blues over here, some blues mixed in, even some reds up here, and then some blues on the right side, whereas on the new model run, it's just full green over here. Maybe a little bit of blues. It just looks more organized to me. So we'll see what the 0Z HRRR has. Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi does look a bit clearer. There is a bit more convection on the north side, north of Jacksonville, Mississippi. We'll see which way this trends here on the 0Z HRRR, but like I said, not really a good scenario for either trends here. More convection still leads to the potential of strong tornadoes. Less convection still leads to that same potential. So not a good scenario really either way. But we'll be live for multiple hours tomorrow, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We will definitely be live for quite a long time tomorrow. I don't know exactly when we will start up our live stream. I'll plan it on what's happening in the morning hours. We'll see what we look like tomorrow morning near 10 o'clock or so and see if a stream's needed by then. That's another thing, is the HRRR model run really doesn't have anything severe happening until like noon. Whereas, like I said, with the 18Z, it has severe storms starting off, potentially as early as like 8. So we're going to stay here for that 0Z HRRR to render in here. I didn't even know that was enabled. That should not be enabled. Disabled. Disabled now. But yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Ooh. Look at the NAM model there. That NAM model is definitely more widespread with the warm sector. That is crazy. Looking at the HRRR comparing to that as well. I mean, the 18Z HRRR it just kind of seems like it feels like a bit of an outlier here. GFS also shows that, though. What about the wrap model? That's not something I've looked at. Yeah, look at the wrap. I mean, that warm sector is perfectly fine. Holy moly, that's not going to happen. We're not going to see that much rain in the morning hours. I think the less morning convection we have, the worse. I feel like that's what it's going to end up being. But like I said, even if we get more morning convection, it's still going to be bad. But I feel like it's going to end up being worse if we end up seeing less convection. Because less convection could even lead to potentially violent tornadoes. I mean, literally, look at that. I mean, if we look at the 23Z HRRR, if that's what it looks like at freaking 12 o'clock in the afternoon, what is it going to look like at like 6 p.m.? I mean, really. By the way, guys, if you spam like Rama is doing there, that is a very, very easy way to instantly be hidden on the channel. Also, mods, if you could put like a 5-minute slow mode, that would be awesome. Or 5 second. I said 5 minute, didn't I? 5 seconds. Please don't do 5 minutes. Please don't do 5 minutes. 5 seconds. No, not 5 minutes. No, not 5 minutes. But yeah, point being here, going between those two models, let's go back to the HRRR. Or for instance, let's use an older NAM model that wasn't as aggressive. You know what? Actually, the 18Z HRRR will do just fine. So you can see how the 18Z HRRR, you have your main warm sector. This is your main warm sector right here. For this event, this is your main warm sector right in here. Now, if we go to that same... Oh, actually, I want to go back a bit because we won't be able to go to the same frame. So let's just redraw that main warm sector. Main warm sector right there on your 18Z HRRR. And let's go to that. It's the same picture, but with a different model run. You can see here on the 23Z, it looks quite a bit similar, but there's more instability in that area. It looks very similar, actually, but there's more instability, and it's just a bit more north, too. And I mean, literally just a bit more north, but that could actually be the difference between us seeing a long track strong tornado or just a lot of heavy rainfall in this area. And again, this is in the early afternoon hours. That main threat, I don't think, starts until quite well into the evening hours. That cold front doesn't push through. That main cold front doesn't push through until about 5 or 6 p.m. I'd say 5 p.m. So we'll see. We will see which way the 0Z HRRR trends here. YouTube won't allow you to do it? Okay, I'll do it really fast. Slow mode, 5 seconds. Boom. So the one we're looking at this screen here is HRRR 18Z. This one is 23Z. We're trying to compare the two between our 23Z HRRR model run and then our 18Z. Yeah, 2024 is definitely going to end with a bang either way. Tomorrow is definitely going to have at least one strong tornado. I would be very much shocked if we don't see one strong tornado tomorrow. Again, just to investigate this further, I'll show you the HRRR 18Z on Radar Omega here. 0Z should start rendering any minute, honestly. We're going to push this to tomorrow, and you can see here, 7 a.m., supercells already ongoing, 8 a.m., supercells, 9 a.m., supercells, 10 a.m., you start seeing some potentially tornadic storms in Alabama, eastern Mississippi. Then 11 a.m., noon, still tornadic supercells. And like I said, look at all of them. Look at all of them. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and then you actually have your line off your screen. You could see a little corner of it right here on the very edge of the screen. So a lot of rounds. It's not one area of tornadic supercells. Like I said, multiple rounds. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 5 generally there, and then your main cold front 6 there. And now some of these will merge as you continue on. You'll see these merge all together. These start merging together into more of 2. HRRR literally shows a supercell here. Look at that. Legit prints a supercell out on your model run just to show you how potent the environment is. The HRRR actually shows a supercell here near Leesville at 4 p.m. But again, this is going to change. It's one model run. The 0Z may be vastly different. I don't know. Maybe it will be vastly different and show a completely different scenario, or maybe it will be still generally the same. I mean, this is the unfortunately better case scenario is we see these 2 rounds, that morning round and that afternoon round, which limits instability for both of them form. So I really want to see a model run that has that worst case scenario because I want to see what it shows. I definitely don't want it to happen. I do not want it to happen. But I want to see a model run that shows that other scenario that I've been talking about, where we just get 1 line instead of 2. Just so I can kind of portray 2 different sides, because we could wake up tomorrow morning and there could be literally no morning convection. And if that happens, everyone is going to be caught off guard on how bad the second round may actually be. Right now, I don't think any model runs are showing that, which is definitely really good, because that means no model runs actually show violent tornadoes being possible. It looks like most of them show a more messy mode, but still, that messy mode is going to include strong tornadoes, maybe even a long track tornado. I do think we will see a moderate tomorrow. I'm looking at different convecutive allowing model runs here. Even with the messy mode, I think we're going to still end up with a moderate. And now that I look more in depth to it, I think it's going to be generally where I placed my thoughts, like right here. Maybe just a slight bit more north. That vicinity there. Because I'm looking through these convecutive models that unfortunately I cannot show you because I don't have the rights to them. and most of them show semi-discrete supercells capable of producing strong tornadoes, maybe even long track tornadoes in that area. But some show that different scenario. Some show lesser convection towards 2 p.m., which would result in a lesser significant tornado threat in the afternoon hours. But then that second line comes through, and that increases tornado potential more for Alabama. So less convection in the morning hours results in more convection towards the nocturnal hours for actually Alabama there. What's this one going to show? This one's down. I'm looking at all the ones I possibly can here. This one just shows a big line capable of just spin up strong tornadoes. So there's a lot of different scenarios for tomorrow. Lot of different scenarios. The FV3 has no morning convection. Thank you for telling me that, because I would like to see... Wow. Okay, so that's what will happen if we don't have a lot of morning convection. Holy crap. Holy cow, it's just a super outbreak printer. That's what it is. Gracious that you literally just explode in strong to violent tornado potential within 1 hour. You go from like nothing to just potentially violent tornadoes. But that all kicks up early. I mean, that's kicking up at 8 a.m. If that happens, I'm going to definitely miss quite a lot. I don't want to show you because I don't want to freak anybody out, and I also don't think I can show you. I might be able to show you on this radar site or this website. I don't really know if I want to show the worst case scenario because it's pretty worst case scenario. Okay, I can show it. I can show it, but I really don't want to freak anybody out. But just know tomorrow does have that violent tornado potential. Keyword is big time potential there. Potential. Dude, it has me getting significant tornadoes on Sunday. I'm gonna have to screenshot this and send it to Lucky. I get strong tornadoes? Yeah, right. Look at that. Oh my goodness, I gotta show Lucky. Lucky, I'm not sure if you're here. You said you were gone. See if he unmutes in 1 minute. Nope. He had to go do something. You can look at it, Caden, if you want to go look at that. Well, I can't say it definitely won't happen, but I don't want to show it because it's just going to panic people. There's no point in showing a model run that has the doomsday scenario, you know? We all know the potential tomorrow has, thanks to the HRRR and the NAM3K's ingredients, but I don't want to actually show a model run that shows that doomsday scenario. Of course, everybody knows, okay, please note whenever we're looking at any model run, it's always going to be somewhat wrong. Maybe it nails one storm here, one storm there, but generally, most of that model run is not going to be exactly dead on right. So always take note of that. Every model run is going to have its flaws and not be able to predict a certain area correctly. Well, Rockets, I mean, you don't know that. I mean, there is a chance we just don't see that morning convection fire. I really wouldn't be, I would definitely be shocked if we had a tornado threat to that extent of what the HV3, or the FV3 rather, is showing. That would definitely shock me. Curious to see what the 0ZHRRR has. Yeah, you can definitely go look at it yourself. Tropical Tidbits, Pivotal Weather, both have it for free. But I don't want to show it on a live stream. just because the chance of that happening is slim, but definitely not zero. There is definitely a chance of a high risk tomorrow weather tracker. Definitely a chance. But will we actually see it? I highly doubt it. I mean, I extremely doubt it. Every model run will have to start uptrending at 0Z for them to even think of mentioning a high risk, which I just don't feel like that's possible. I think we will see a moderate risk, but I extremely doubt we will see a high risk. But like I said, technically there is a chance. It's just stupidly low. It's very, very, very low. I do not think it will happen. But I do think a moderate will happen. Let's see here. Is that still on the National Weather Service discussion? Okay, let's read this. This is the official Storm Prediction Center talking about the morning convection here. Somebody just sent me this, and it is indeed still there. Deeper convection is expected to develop early in the period of 11 through 14Z, so that's 6 through about 9 a.m. There's Lucky. I'm in the middle of talking.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got me right as we were starting to read the SPC, but did you see what I sent in DMs?
Yeah.
Like 3 strong tours.
Yeah. One's almost near my house.
Yep. Now I gotta show you the one for tomorrow. And I don't think you are ready for it.
I'm scared.
This happens in one frame, Lucky. Literally, it goes from like light rain over most of this area to this frame here.
Oh my.
Absolutely just violent tornado printer.
Um,
Which I didn't show it on stream because I don't really want to show that because it's such a low chance of happening. But a model does show it. I was talking about it earlier in the live stream, and then Caden pointed out that a model run actually showed the scenario I was talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna read this. You want me to stay unmuted and read it?
It's up to you.
I guess I will, so you can hear me. This is from the SPC discussion for tomorrow. Deeper convection is expected to develop early in the period of 11 to 14Z as ascent from the embedded, we'll just say main trough ejection, moves over a prefrontal confluence axis. And that is what we call, the confluence bands, what produced a lot of significant tornadoes on like our latest super outbreak. Those confluence bands, man, they could go absolutely crazy if the environment is right. Just like what is that? The FV3 model run that I showed Lucky and that some of y'all in chat looked at yourself. Those are confluence bands that you see going crazy in the very early afternoon hours across East Texas and Western Louisiana. A second round of robust convection may also develop across Eastern Texas later in the afternoon as a Pacific front associated with surface low over Northern Texas impinges. Yep, read that right. Impinges on the Vorb sector from the west. A mix of semi-discrete supercells and linear orientated Boeing segments are expected with sufficient buoyancy and deep layer shear overlapping the storm organization. An initial risk for large hail, especially where the lower level flow is somewhat veered, should transition the risk for damaging winds and tornadoes as the 0 to 1 shear increases from, or rather to 150 to 300 meters squared second squared into the mid and late Saturday afternoon with a 35 plus knot lower level jet stream there into the late afternoon, 35 knot jet stream. That's kind of conservative.
That is very conservative.
They don't really throw any strong tornado potential in there in the morning hours, and I'm a little surprised by that, honestly. Shoot, so you're telling me like 6 a.m. is when tornadoes may start to try and form?
I don't
Wow.
know, man.
Gracious day. I don't think I want to be up at 5 a.m. and then get ready to stream at 6 a.m.
You already did that today, just without the streaming part.
Yeah, without the streaming part. I was like, I did? Really? I
I
sure don't
don't remember
remember.
that.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
remember
remember
that.
streaming.
But yeah. Um so like I said, multiple rounds of severe weather are expected. Oh, look at that, by the way. Early evening hours, we'll see an increase in the lower level jet to 45 to 65 knots. And lower level wind shear will get to 300 to 400 meters squared second squared, and this will support the potential for strong tornadoes with any established supercellular elements. We do have the 0Z HRRR rendering in now. Pretty much right on time. So we will wait for that to render until, I mean, we got another hour. We should be able to see the entire model run render in here. So, personal opinion on tomorrow, I really think we have strong long track tornado potential. But there is definitely some uncertainty on that morning round and how substantial it may be. And I think it's all going to come down to what we see around the time frame of 8, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that will be the deciding factor on the SPC if they pull a moderate trigger or not. When does the SPC update for their day 2 outlook? Their first update is... I believe that's day 2, so I have to go to day 1, which they just did their day 1. So 06Z. If I'm not mistaken, that's 5 a.m. Eastern. I don't think they'll pull a moderate trigger on that unless the 0Z HRRR shows almost violent tornado potential. I don't think they'll pull it just based off 0Z data like that. And unless, like I said, it's a substantial uptrend. I don't see him pulling a moderate at 06Z. It will be probably the next update, which is that 013Z? I forgot. Let's see here. 060 12Z. So they'll update it around, no, that's the valid time, my bad. 13Z, I was correct. Okay, so 8 a.m. They may pull it at the 8 a.m. update. Carson, some models show strong tornadoes, and another model run shows a line of light rain, and that's it. So we could either have a massive day or legit a normal North Carolinian rain shower day.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up chasing. I probably definitely won't be able to stream tomorrow because I gotta fix up my car. Because you know what happened. But yeah, I gotta get ready for Sunday.
I don't know
I
if
might
we'll
run
see a
into you.
45 sig
Whoa!
wind, not tor.
Oh,
I think we'll see a 30 sig wind probably near central Mississippi, and then the 15 sig tor also near the same area, pointing a little bit southwest as well. But yeah. Uh-oh, I turned into Lucky. You hear that? They did keep that marginal risk for today off, by the way. Still maintaining that 2% tornado risk. It is just substantially smaller.
yeah, way smaller.
Daniel, there could be as many as like 6, 7 rounds of supercells for some people. And then other people will literally see just one sweep of the cold front. So it just depends. It depends on where our confluence band's set up. We could literally have bands that just feed literal tornadic supercells into Mississippi and Alabama. And that's how we'll get our significant tornado threat very easily towards the late evening hours. All right, let's see here. Wow. So the 0Z HRRR goes out till 05Z Saturday. The HRRR is like, what, 400 Cape more already? I'm curious to see if that just all dissipates. Most likely, yes. Most likely we'll end up with 2 to 3 lines. Most people will see 2 to 3 uh, 2 to 3 rounds of severe weather. Let me show you here. So our first main round will be in the morning, and you could see how widespread that is. You know, for instance, if this actually happens, in like mini, you could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. There you go. That area could see 7 rounds according to this singular model, which again, every model run is wrong to some extent. So you don't want to trust that in sense of pinpoint accuracy like I just did there. But generally, we're going to see that big morning round around that time frame of, what did they say, 6 to 8 a.m. or so. And then we're going to see that line push eastward into Mississippi. We'll see that second line out here towards 4 p.m. in central Louisiana, and then the third cold front line towards 6 p.m. So yes, there's going to be 3 main lines that will most likely impact a good chunk of the risk.
He said Carson has a mod. You should be under the protective dome.
Oh, don't worry, he will be.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it never fails. I'm pretty sure it hasn't failed yet. I'm trying to think of a time it has failed. Here in Virginia, it almost failed one time. It almost failed one time near my house, but it didn't.
Oh yeah, you were alive and you were under a tornado warning. Right? Wasn't that the one time?
Okay, that is ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, I was under a tornado warning, but I didn't actually get a tornado.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, duh. What's ridiculous?
Hold on, I gotta go see if this person was capping or not. Okay, they were. Forget what I said.
All right.
Let's see. Ooh, let's look at the trend. Let's look at the trend. Ready, y'all? Well, actually, we can't look at it just yet, but we're going to look at the convective trend to see if convection shifts more northward on the 0ZH We have over 100 people in here for the first time in, like, literally 4 months, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the live stream. We'll be live for multiple hours, potentially as many as 14 hours tomorrow. I'm planning for 6 hours. We are planning, and I'm expecting to do a 6-hour live stream. So it could be anywhere between 6 and 14 hours of severe weather coverage tomorrow. Like he's like,
That's a doozy right
jeez.
there. That's a doozy
We
right there.
have a small chance to break our longest live stream that we've ever done, which was it 14 hours? I think it was
Just about.
3 plus 11, which is 14. Yeah, it was like
My
14.
longest,
It was like 14 and a half, maybe 15 hours.
Yeah, I don't compare it to yours at all. I think my longest was, what was it, like 8 hours? We both
Probably.
covered that day.
Oh, 0Z already has storms firing at 09Z. So it already has started the morning convection. Let me show you all this. Let's watch it render in together. There's our storms already starting up there in Texas. Zoom in for y'all. There you go. Pretty much right in the middle of your screen. I'm going to close all this out really quickly. Also hit that like button and share the stream as well. Those two help a lot. Pushes us out to more people. This is our newest model data that we are watching render in. Just quickly going to check on our current radar. Looks like those cells have died out, so that's good. We're going to go back to that model run. We're going to watch this render on in together. Close that out. I'm going to keep both of these up. So this is the 23ZHRRR. We're going to keep this on convection for us. What should we do, Lucky? 15Z? Yeah, 15Z.
15Z.
So we'll wait until we get 15 frames in, and then we'll compare the two convecutive initiations between both of our model runs. The last model run from an hour ago and our newest 48 frame model run that's rendering in now. Let's see. Lucky, did you happen to take a peek at the 18Z GFS 330 hours out?
No, but
When I go that far out in winter, I'm sure you know what it is.
all right, let's see. How much snow does Lucky get?
One model run, it showed like a foot and a half for, and it didn't happen. It did not happen.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to happen three days ago, y'all,
Yeah,
and it was clear skies.
yeah, it was supposed to be like a Christmas Eve snowstorm according to the GFS, and of course it didn't happen. Which we already knew that. I do think there will be a moderate risk, yes. Like I said, though, it's going to greatly depend off morning observations between... You're going to have two crucial times. You're going to have your crucial time from 11... your main crucial time is actually what I'm saying here. 11 to 13Z. That's your very crucial time frame. So that's 6 to 8 a.m. That is a crucial time frame for what will happen tomorrow afternoon. 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern is very crucial for what we may see in the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours of tomorrow. See how our cape's doing. Cape comparison for 10Z between our old and new model run. Old model run, new model run. Looks like a little bit more capping on the new model run. Definitely a little bit more capping on 0Z. Just in Southeast Texas. I don't think that will overall make a big difference, though, in the model run's outcome. Whatever that may be. All right, there's 11Z. Here's 11Z. Now that looks very, very similar. Looks really just about the same in instability. Very minor changes. Looks like 0Z has uptrended a little bit in the northwestward extent of instability. So possibly a slower trough. Look at the low pressures general location on 23Z. Actually, it's a little bit more right of that. It's right here. And then in 0Z, it's still right about the same. But you can tell with, look at this instability axis right here, right where my cursor is. Pretend I'm drawing with my cursor right here. Watch that shift. New model run, old model run. See how the old one, it's quicker, southeastward. New, it's more northwest, old, southeast, new, northwest. It could literally be those tiniest little changes that matter significantly. Okay, this is at 12Z between two of our model runs. Substantially less morning convection over northwestern Louisiana, northeastern Texas between the two. At least right now. Oh, Lord. Hold on. You guys are all saying NATO cast. Is there a new NATO cast, or are you guys saying the old one? Because if it's the old one, I've seen it. But if it's the new one, I don't want to look.
Okay, I got you.
NATO cast, I already know it went high risk for tomorrow.
No, 4 hours ago.
NATO cast went high risk for tomorrow in central Mississippi. If y'all didn't know.
No, never mind. 9 hours ago was the last one.
Okay.
I haven't seen no 000 yet.
I think the new one comes out around 10 now. NatoCast, it's not going to verify. It didn't verify yesterday. NatoCast had a 15 sig. We ended up with 0 tornado reports in the 15 sig area. So, NatoCast either nails or completely misses the event. Let's see. I'm going to quickly go back over. There we go. All right, there's a comparison between the newest and old model run. This is just a 1 hour difference here. Like, this is literally model run from an hour ago, newest model run. Look at the substantial less convection over north central Louisiana. Look at that. That could literally be the difference between strong tornadoes and literally near nothing. That's old, new, old, new, old, new. Just to see the instability again, because that's the most important part. Instability comparison, same time, two different model runs though. One's an hour old, one's just now coming in. Still looks about the same instability wise. A bit of an uptrend in southeast Louisiana on the new 0Z HRRR. Look towards like New Orleans and just west of New Orleans. You'll see here it has about 1,200, 1,300 instability, whereas here it has closer to 1,800 towards southeast Louisiana. Look in Alabama. Whoa. Yep, look at that. 14Z. 10 o'clock in the morning. Already have a SIG tour trying to form on the 0Z HRRR. But thankfully, it's actually outside of that main environment. So that would probably be more of just maybe a small hailer at worst. Wouldn't actually be significant in probably any way. Still seems like a lot less convection overall. Still a lot of morning convection, but seems just like less overall. Also a very far northwest trend with that batch of convection in north central Louisiana. Watch that. Goes from north central Louisiana all the way to southwestern Arkansas, far northwest Louisiana. So I think this is already an uptrend in terms of less morning convection. Northern extent of the instability. Let's see. That's 15Z, 15Z. Oh, yeah. Look at how much further northwest that goes out here in Louisiana and Texas. That does go quite a lot bit more northwest. Even instability into southwestern Kentucky is further. So definitely an uptrend. Now I want to see if it can carry through with that uptrend. Can it carry through with that uptrend, or what's going to happen? Any trouble for Houston? Let's see. I'm pretty sure I saw Florence, Alabama as well. Houston, I think Houston will be okay. You do want to still watch out for a brief tornado or two, especially in the morning and early afternoon hours. But I think you'll be fine. I think the majority will stay northeast of Houston. Florence, Alabama, you are pretty far north, but you're definitely going to be seeing multiple rounds of potentially severe storms. So I would start becoming hyperweather aware in Florence, Alabama at 1 p.m. Central. I don't think you will be upgraded to any higher risks. I think you'll stay at that slight risk caliber. Let's go back to our 0Z HRRR here. Alright, this is where it officially gets too far out for our old model run. So we're going to switch to the 18Z. So this is a really old model run now. This is like a 6-hour old model run. And we're going to pull this all the way out here to 17Z. So there's your old model run, new model run. Looks like we got more convection in Mississippi and also in southeast Louisiana firing up on that new model run. But notice how empty. Look how empty it is in central northern Louisiana into west central Mississippi. Fully empty. Whereas the old model run, it's completely full of convection. New model run, empty. Like literally pretty much just a fully primed environment there. There's your difference in instability in that area. Old, new. Old, new. So already a substantial change. Go back over here. There you go. We're going to pull this out to 18Z. That's what 18Z looks like on our old model run. Try to get a photographic memory of that. Spot the difference here as we switch to 0Z in just a minute. All right, let's go back on over here. See if it's... There you go. Boom. So much less convection over pretty much the entire warm sector. I mean, the entire warm sector is just significantly less convection. Significantly less convection over almost the entirety of our main warm sector. Hold on. Give me just a second. Lucky, if you could yap real quick about something. I guess he can't. I hear you, Lucky. Oh, he screwed up his mic.
Nope, I'm here.
All right, yap about something real quick.
Whoa, okay, I was not expecting that. Alrighty. Let's yap about something real quick. We're gonna go to tomorrow. We'll do tomorrow, as that is our bigger day, other than Sunday. Sunday is also could be a big day, but tomorrow's gonna be the bigger day. If you are in any risk tomorrow, please be weather aware. Um, please be weather aware. Have a safe spot ready just in case. If you're in that bigger risk of tornadoes like the 10 sig, we have all ingredients are in place for tomorrow. They it's gonna be we're done. It's gonna be pretty, I don't know, pretty decent setup. I guess you could say decent TRG.
S2P go crazy.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness, look at the difference. Look at that difference, y'all. Oh my goodness, the rest of this model run is about to go crazy after 3 p.m. After 3 p.m., this is about to go ham. Every frame from here is probably going to be really bad.
Yeah, that is.
Still, 3 p.m., a lot of your warm sector has minimal convection. I mean, look at that. That is a very, very sharp, nice warm sector right there. Really sharp, nice warm sector. Completely different than this messy 18Z run. Look at the difference. 18Z, 00Z. I mean, it's like a completely new event. Look at that warm sector. Substantially further to the northwest. Feels like it's completely different. All right, we're going to pull this out here. We're going to put this back to convection. This is 21Z, or I should say this is 4 p.m. for tomorrow with our old 18Z model run. And we're about to see the new one here. Gracious day. Now that would definitely be a quite significant QLCS. And just look at that warm sector. I mean, gracious day. You're just going to have confluence bands that feed tornadic supercells up into that warm sector. And you're just going to end up with a lot of semi-discrete strong tornadoes. So basically, your new model run shows less storms in the morning, which allows for more fuel to build for the second line of storms in the afternoon hours. So even though you lose your strong tornado potential in the morning hours on this run, it increases strong tornado potential later in the day on this newest run. For sure. For sure. It's a lot more what looks like linear. It's a completely different storm system. Look at it. It's a completely different storm system. Old model, new model. It's completely different. It is literally just completely different. It literally looks like I'm looking at a different day. I'm just waiting to see one supercell here on the H-triple-R go absolutely crazy. Because that's, I mean, let's just look at the tornado and... I mean, gracious day, y'all. Look at the difference. So much higher ingredients in place in West Central Mississippi. So much higher. Here's STP for both of them. Look at that. It is just ridiculously different. Old, new, old, new, old, new. We'll see what the rest of this has to hold, and there you go. There's one already right there. Semi-discrete supercell Central Alabama. And then here's our confluence bands starting to form right in front of that line. These are prefrontal supercells here. And then you can see this line here. This would be a really big concern. That line would have multiple strong tornadoes embedded inside of it with probably up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. And worst of all, this is probably going to have the peak tornado threat at 9 p.m. Because once this confluence band meets that linear line segment here, it's going to break apart for like 1 hour, but then it's going to go crazy towards the last few hours of your run. Or the last few hours of daylight here for Saturday. This would be more into the morning hours of Sunday, actually. Sorry, I'm trying to interpret this model run at the same time as you, so... I mean, you can see how sharp that is now. Really, really sharp. Just comparing that to the old model run. Same time, same hour. This is for 7 p.m. tomorrow. But two completely different runs. This is your 18Z, 00Z. Fully different. Gracious day. This would just be like a line of significant tornadoes. That's what this would be. This wouldn't be like, maybe you could get potentially a violent tornado with one of those discrete storms in front of the line, but this would just be more of a line of strong tornadoes. That's what it would be. So thankfully it is a more linear, which means it's more of a line. Let me go back over here really fast. Ready to see what Twitter has to think about this run. So, we'll see which, gracious day. Do you know what this reminds me of? For those who are on Twitter often, this reminds me of that James Spann meme. That's what it reminds me of. Look at the updraft helicity tracks. Look at the STP. This is going to be a mega super outbreak. That's what this model run reminds me of, because look at all the updraft tracks. Now, thankfully, none of it's, I mean, I don't really see any discrete storms here. So what that means is there's a pretty low chance you would actually have those long-tracked violent tornadoes. If it was discrete storms, this would be a really, really bad threat for tomorrow. But because it's a line, what that allows for is that allows for more damaging winds as opposed to your violent tornado threat. Prefrontals are the storms that produce our strongest tornadoes. It's pretty rare, if not nearly never, that you hear from a line produce a EF4 or EF5 tornado. It's most of the time, it's those discrete storms in front of the line. You'll hear meteorologists talk about it all the time. Prefrontal supercells, supercells in front of the line. This storm that's all by itself is the one we have to watch. You'll hear that type of stuff. Man. But like I said, this is the 0Z HRRR. It's just one a model run still, so it's gonna change tomorrow morning. But this is the stuff that the SPC based their forecasts off of. They literally, the HRRR model run is one of the most dependent model runs for the SPC to use as forecasting. This is literally their main model run. So whatever they end up doing tomorrow, it's going to be based off of something like whatever this mod. They're gonna wait for this model to finish rendering in. Then they'll look at the 06Z HRRR model run. Maybe they'll pull the moderate trigger in the very early morning hours, but personally, I feel like it would be a better call for them to wait until the 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. update when that 12Z HRRR renders in to give them, the best information in the morning hour. I'm saying prefrontal supercells produce stronger tornadoes most of the time. You're going to get stronger tornadoes and more significant tornadoes with storms in front of the line. For instance, the Barnsdale tornado, when we had that high risk that actually ended up underperforming significantly in central Oklahoma, and everyone was calling it a bust. And then in the night hours, we saw one storm out in front of the line ended up producing an EF4 tornado. So that's what I'm saying here. I feel like it is a slight downtrend in terms of the potential for like intense to violent tornadoes, but it is an uptrend in terms of the amount of tornadoes that we could see tomorrow. Because you could see here, you don't see a lot of discrete storms. You see a few here, 1, 2, 3 discrete storms here. But it's nothing like that Doomsday model run that I saw on Tropical Tidbits. So this line would result in fewer, like say EF3 or EF4 tornadoes, but it would result in more widespread damaging winds and a lot more tornadoes. This would be a derecho. Come on. Let me just say that. It would be a derecho if this happened. Which I don't really know where that came from. I didn't even think that was a possibility tomorrow. But again, I want to compare it. Let me just show it so that way you guys know the uncertainty here. Look at the difference between the models. Old model run, new model run. That shows you the amount of uncertainty we still have. This could flip-flop. The model runs tomorrow morning could end up looking like this, whereas the newest model run we literally just got right now looks like this. So it could still flip-flop. We could very easily get a last-second downtrend. Very, very easily. And whichever solution's more likely to happen, that's up to the SPC. That is fully up to the SPC to predict which one is more likely to occur and base their outlook on that. So they'll wait for more model runs to render in tonight. They'll watch the model runs overnight. They'll launch their weather balloons tomorrow at 12Z, 7 a.m. in the morning. They'll release that outlook at 13Z. 13Z is the crucial outlook. That's the outlook that has the highest chance of us seeing this go to a level 4 out of 5 risk. Right now it's a level 3 out of 5 risk and enhanced risk. But tomorrow at 13Z, which is 8 a.m. Eastern time, that's going to be the outlook that they could upgrade our risk. Oh no. Alright, here goes the James Spann meme. Gracious day. Look at the updraft helicity tracks on the 18Z, but let's look at 0Z. You ready for this? Holy crap. Now that's a difference. Let's just look at that one more time here. We're going to compare the two, this time side by side. Updraft helicity tracks through 08Z. And see, that's what I was talking about. Look how much more widespread it is. 0Z has updraft tracks all the way from Kentucky back down towards Texas, towards the Gulf coastline, up through Alabama. And if you look at the old model run, it is way more confined. You see how it's more of one area, and then you have, what's that? That might be like a swath of damaging winds right there that the 18Z HRRR had, whereas the 0Z has more of widespread damaging winds. I mean, that's got to be like, I don't know if I can see it yet here. Let's see. We may be bugged here on Radar Omega. There we go. Yeah, Radar Omega is still rendering it in. See what Caden said here. There's Holistic tracks in Nashville. Gracious day. Let's go up towards that area. Now I'm very much intrigued to see. Yeah, look at that. I mean, wow. There cannot be much more of a massive shift than that. I mean, just look at the massive difference between these model runs here. It shifts like fully northwestward. That is a massive change. And we'll see what the rest of this has for the Carolinas now. Oh, let's go south. Holy crap. Look at that. Now, see, that would bring a more significant tornado threat. See how they're on the far southern... Look at 07Z. You've got like 4 semi-discrete supercells out here. Southeast Mississippi, southwest Alabama. That's what, like 1, 2 a.m.? You've got 4 potentially strong tornadoes on this model run all at the same time in the dead middle of the night. We'll see how much different this looks tomorrow morning. I really don't know what to make of it. You know, obviously it's a very significant run, but that's just too big of a change. You know, that's too big of a change to say which one's more likely now. We know there's going to be a significant threat for severe weather tomorrow, obviously. But in terms of will it be friggin' 110 mile an hour winds like the 0Z HRRR appears like here, or is it going to be more of 2 to 3 messy lines of severe weather that produce more of a strong tornado threat, but a substantially lower wind threat? I guess we'll figure out when we wake up to whatever the SPC has. I don't really know. I wouldn't blame them if they pulled a 15 sig, 45 sig moderate risk. That's a 15 sig Tor, 45 sig wind. And I also wouldn't blame them if they didn't change their outlook at all. I wouldn't blame them either way. But we'll see what the NAM 0Z has later on tonight. I don't believe we'll end up being live to see that push through all the way. Either way, it's a bad scenario for people in central Mississippi and most of Louisiana. But there's just so much uncertainty. I don't know what to make of it. And okay, here's Twitter. 0Z is a substantial upgrade. Red Sharpie tomorrow. Moderate risk likely tomorrow morning. Killer squall line. Very concerned for what could happen tomorrow. Let's see what else we have. Moderate likely. Red Sharpie probably tomorrow. Oh, we're cooked. Yeah, that's the typical rage baiter on Twitter right there. Someone needs their money. Moderate risk tomorrow morning. Moderate. I'm just waiting to see somebody on Twitter say, high risk for wind. I'm waiting to see it on my feed. Let's see here. I'm not even gonna say that one. That's just dumb to say. See if I can find any more. I think I read most of them. Seems like most of Twitter is in alignment with a moderate risk tomorrow. But like I said, even if they keep it enhanced, I wouldn't blame them. I really wouldn't blame them if they kept it enhanced. I feel like they're definitely gonna need to wait until the morning threat tomorrow, or the morning weather balloons like 13Z update. I would be very shocked to see them pull a moderate risk at the 06Z update, which is like 5 a.m. I think they'll pull it at 8 a.m. If they do. Because it's not for certain that they do. I don't think they will pull, I don't think they'll wait until noon to pull a moderate risk. I'm just trying to think of, how tomorrow's process is gonna go. We'll see. And in terms of our live stream, I don't know when we'll be live. I do not know. I'll figure that out when I wake up, won't I? I swear, if I wake up to like I wake up to a high risk, man. I don't even know what I'm gonna wake up to tomorrow. Watch me wake up to a slight. Watch it be a slight risk. They downgrade the risk. That would shock me. I think that's the one thing that would shock me, utterly shock me, is if they push it all the way down to a slight risk. I think that would shock me more than a high risk. Just overall, here's the takeaway from the live stream. Here is the takeaway from the live stream. If you were to ignore everything I've shown in this live stream, this is the one thing you shouldn't ignore. If you live in the yellow and orange areas, be extremely weather aware starting tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time. That is the one main takeaway. If you just ignore all the model runs, ignore everything I've yapped on about what I think about the risk and the moderate risk, just be weather aware and the yellow, hyper weather aware, and the yellow and the orange. Yellow and the orange, be hyper weather aware starting at 6 a.m. Eastern. The reason why I point out the yellow is because the yellow, we could actually see a good chunk of that yellow go orange, and some of the orange could actually go red. I really don't know, Ben. I think it's 50-50. I think it's a 50% chance they stay enhanced and a 50% chance they pull moderate. I think it is a 50-50. But in reality, obviously, it all comes down to what they think is the most likely scenario. If I were forecasting it, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I do. I think I would there's so much uncertainty right now. There's just so much uncertainty. I don't think I could be the forecaster for this event. Like I said, I think we will see a moderate, but then again, it's 50-50. I don't know. I really don't know. The 0Z HRRR is so much vastly different than 18Z. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to go moderate when I straight up have zero clue, because the 0Z is so vastly different than the 18Z. Can I actually see like a freaking debris ball or something here on the 0Z HRRR? I want to... Can Radar Mega please go out that far? Look how much of a supercell that is. I think it's one more frame. You see that on College of Do page, right? Look at that. Right there. That is like such a classic supercell just above my cursor. That is insane. Look at all of them. Oh my word, look at all of them. Look at them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at them all. There's so many of them. All in the open warm sector. I didn't even notice that until I pulled up Radar Omega. Oh, CSU finally decided to hop in. They have a massive 10% tornado risk. Which, I mean, their outlook looks similar to the SBC's. I didn't even realize there were so many of these supercells. I mean, seriously, look at them all. They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. I think this frame, 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I think this is the tornadic frame right here. This is the 10 tornadoes on the ground at the same time. HRRR frame right here. I would be astonished and blown away if the 0Z HRRR is if it's gonna stay the same as tomorrow. If I wake up in the 06Z, the 12Z, or whatever Z we're on shows what this is showing now, I will be astonished. I mean, it's gonna change a lot. Please take note of that. If you are really, really worried about seeing, for instance, a tornado right here, like the HRRR is portraying, just know that these model runs change very frequently. That's why we do these updates the day before the event, is to get you aware of what we're seeing the day before, and then once the day comes and we start the live stream, to see how much that has changed, so that way we can get out more information to more people. And also to compare how poorly our model runs are. To see how well model runs predict events as well. And also for archives. For instance, if tomorrow ends up being a big day and you want to see what the 0Z HRRR showed from for that day, you could come back to it, because this live streams shouldn't be deleted. I don't see a reason why it'd be deleted. So it's a good way to archive model runs. We'll see, though. We'll see what everything looks like tomorrow morning. It's gonna be a very interesting first 3 hours of tomorrow morning when I wake up. Very interesting. Very interesting. The moment I wake up, I am booking it to the SPC Outlook. And we'll see tomorrow what they end up pulling. I'm really intrigued to see what they have, because I mean, the 0Z HRRR, like I said, is just so vastly different. Like I mentioned before, it kind of feels like an entire new day. But now we got to move on into Lucky and I's severe threat here on the HRRR 0Z. See what that has for us. Oh, TRG gets slammed by 70, 80 miles per hour at, what is that, 10 a.m.? Oh, never mind. There's, like, no instability. It just looks very strong. In reality, that's probably, like, nothing. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. If this actually happened in North Carolina and Virginia, this would probably be, like, just heavy rain. I mean, let's be honest. This in Dixie Alley would be like 80 mile per hour winds, but this in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia would be like a little breezy day with a lot of rain. Because it looks significant. Does that not look significant to you on the HRRR? You know, you'd think that 70, 80 mile per hour winds. Actually, I can go check. No, I can't because it's not fully in. I could check in like 2 hours. I could see the exact wind speeds of what it is. Alright, but this is when it should get really interesting because that's the first round. That's the round, the meh round. The high precipitation, mainly damaging winds, and maybe a brief spin up tornado round. The big round is the round after that passes, which we'll see if it's anything remotely close to big. Ooh, I see something in Ohio that has caught my eye here. Wow, something that has definitely caught my eye in Ohio for Sunday. Multiple semi-discrete supercells firing up here. This is at 3 p.m. Yeah. Low instability, probably, yep, high shear. High shear, low cape. We'll have to see trends on that. See if that is the case for more model runs tomorrow, if that continues to show. They do have a marginal risk up generally that way, and I believe it's probably going to have a 2% tornado risk, but we'll see. We'll definitely need to keep an eye on that. Watch those trends. Those are those sneaky little sleeper tornado threats that end up producing a lot of tornadoes unexpectedly. Gracious day. Alright, here it is. This is it. What, 250 instability? Dude, Lucky, this looks great for us, man. 200 instability, look at it. It's this tiny little section here of North Carolina and Virginia that may be favorable for the quickest spin-up storm. I don't even think I'd call it a spin-up supercell or tornado. It'd be a spin-up storm. I'm interested to see the last 3 frames here. See if the HRRR spawns anything. Because just one model run, one singular model run spawned supercells across Virginia and North Carolina. I'm curious to see if the HRRR hops on with that model here. Come on. There's one. Oh? Maybe. Maybe some light rain. It's gonna flop. It's gonna flop. It's gonna flop and bust for Sunday. Yeah, that low's a 990 on the 0Z HRRR. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I had to check something. NAM coming in yet? Oh, NAM is. Not NAM 3K, but the actual NAM model itself is. Come on. Just 2 more frames, HRRR. Just 2 more frames. You can load it in a little bit quicker than that. It's like nothing for me, is it? It's like literally nothing. It's like probably don't even want to even move from my room, nothing. Yeah, it's too warm for this to be a blizzard. But in Michigan, yeah, I mean, if it was cold enough, Michigan would get a crazy blizzard out of this. It would be absolutely crazy. Slow moving 990 low pressure. I mean, geez. They're probably low, but they typically are for low instability, high shear cape events. Yeah, about 55. 55 temps with 51 dews. Instability up into what? That's like 600, right? 400, 500 instability. And then wind shear is no problem whatsoever. If that trend continues, I would not be shocked to see them put a slight risk up there in Ohio. The last frame here puts us all the way out right here. This is the last frame. Boom. 0Z Monday, and it looks garbage. It looks garbage. Looks exactly like garbage. No instability for the morning round. Instability for the second round, but no primary forcing mechanism for it to actually be anything. I'll probably still end up chasing. That would be early though. I mean, geez, yeah, that would be really early. We'll see what I end up thinking about tomorrow. When I wake up tomorrow, we'll see what I think about the severe threat. I'll base live streams off of what I see tomorrow morning, and then Sunday, I don't know. But again, if this stream was confusing in any way, which I'm very sure it was, just remember to look at your local National Weather Service, see what they're saying, and then look at the Storm Prediction Center and be weather aware based on that. Like I said, if you're in the yellow or the orange, you need to be hyper weather aware at 6 a.m. Eastern, probably at 6 a.m. Eastern until the cold front passes, which will vary for each areas. Cold front should pass, like for instance, Houston, the cold front will pass probably about 3 p.m. Central. But for like Alabama, most of Alabama's threat won't be over until probably like 4, 5 a.m. Sunday morning. Northwest Alabama will be the first area to get out of that severe threat around 2 a.m. But once again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button with a notification bell set to all. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. We'll be live for multiple hours tomorrow. Planning for a 6-hour live stream tomorrow. Not sure on the exact starting time of it. Like I said, it's going to depend on what things look like in the morning hours. We are getting our NAM model in right now. Our NAM 3K is coming in as well. NAM 3K will take quite a bit. Quite a while here to render in. I'd love to get Lucky's thoughts on this, but he's on deafen. Finally. Are you alive?
Yep.
I want to get your thoughts on the threats. You didn't hear any of my commentary over our area for 0Z HRRR, huh?
No, I was doing something.
Yes, dude. Huntsville, Alabama. You know, that's a good question because I actually have family that live in central Alabama. I didn't even think about that till now. I should probably let them know. Oh man, it's an overnight threat for y'all in Huntsville and as well as for my family in central Alabama. Jeez, I don't know if I want to alert them until I know more about it. I might send them a heads up text today, but I don't want to get them very anxious. I want to get them really, really anxious. I'll definitely send them a text, though. Let them know they're in a risk for tornadoes, because the SPC has a 5% tornado risk for them. So I'll definitely send them a quick text. But I hate how it's overnight. Overnight threats are the absolute worst. Absolutely terrible. Tomorrow's peak activity at the moment looks to be from 2 and 3 p.m. 3 p.m. all the way till it looks like 11 p.m., maybe midnight central. So we will plan. I'm going to plan to live stream at 2 p.m. I will be live at or before 2 p.m. That's going to be the plan right now. At or before 2 p.m. Eastern time. I could be live as early as 11 a.m. I could be live as late as 2 p.m. But I'm going to be live at or before 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I do have some extra time. Hold on, Lucky. I already told you what I'm going to do after I finish stream, so if you want to go at any point, just let me know. But I'm gonna.
I gotta go in 30 minutes.
Okay, well, that's when I'm gonna go too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll conclude in probably 30 minutes or so. But for the first time in quite a while, because it's been winter, I'm gonna actually pull up our subscriber count because we are nearing a 100 subscriber milestone. We are just 4 subscribers away from 7,600 subscribers. We were very, very slow in climbing in December here because I took so many breaks. You could see December 16th is where I started to take breaks. And then this is where I had some good videos here that hit the algorithm that went up in views. And of course, we've had our live streams. 2 more subscribers, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And there you go. It's easy as that. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button. That is our milestone hit.
Yeah! Let's go!
Just to put it in perspective, our milestone this year was, well, we actually surpassed 2023's milestone, so we actually ended up, it was supposed to originally be 2,000, but we had to increase it to 4,000 because you guys supported the channel so much. And even with doubling the goal, we still hit 7,600. 3,600 over the doubled goal for the end of this year. I'm absolutely crazy.
He almost... Wait, okay, so he almost quadrupled.
Yeah, yeah. Almost. We're 400 subs away from quadrupling the goal.
Lucky don't have that many? Yeah, no.
What? Legacy? What? No, you're managing moderator. I don't want to show everything else because it's some private private information that I really don't want to show there. But
you are.
Just to show you. There it is. It says remove as managing moderator. I promise you are managing moderator. I promise.
You can't activate slow mode. I think it's usually for mobile. Usually mobile is like the place to start activating slow mode, if I'm correct. But you could do it on PC. I can try.
Nam is gonna show the same. Look at this. 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 Open warm sector. Texas, Central Louisiana, Mississippi. Open warm sector on the NAM model. Fully open warm sector. Really, really good instability. And watch this. The next frame, one more frame, that supercell composite's going to go ham. I would almost bet money on it. I would just about bet money on it. That supercell composite is going to go crazy next scan. Nashville may have a chance for a very weak, brief spin-up tornado tomorrow night. The chance of you actually getting hit by it is very, 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 very low. But there is a risk for a brief spin-up tornado in central and eastern Tennessee tomorrow night. And there you go. There it is. It's going crazy. full area of orange supercell composite in that whole open warm sector at 4 p.m. I saw someone say something else here. Shreveport. Oh, that's so tricky because you're right where that open warm sector is going to open up. So you're going to be like right on it. You're going to have rain to your north, and then you're going to have that line to your west. And you're either going to get that significant tornado potential, or it's just going to be a miserable rainy day. I would be hyper weather aware because it could literally be either one. I would definitely be very much hyper weather aware. So I think this is still relatively the same NAM. I mean, it's not much of a difference. The NAM model's typically aggressive like this, but it is agreeing with our HRRR model run. Ooh. No, look at the amount of less convection between the 18Z NAM and the 0Z NAM. That is another model run that has substantial less convection. That in itself might be worthy enough for a moderate risk from the SPC in the morning update before we get the weather balloons at 12Z. Now that we have 2 model runs agreeing. And if we see the NAM 3K agree with that, there's a very high chance they're going to issue that moderate risk really early tomorrow. The western panhandle of Florida could see a brief spin-up tornado. Sunday morning? Sunday morning, yes. You could see a brief spin-up tornado. It would be the western panhandle of Florida. All right, next frame is going to be even crazier here on the NAM model. Cameron, you a NASCAR fan?
NASCAR?
Let me go over to this location. Definitely want to be hyper weather aware. You could very easily see a significant tornado threat. I would be really weather aware. Well, stay safe out there. I'm a NASCAR fan as well. I'm not saying my driver.
I'll stay. I'm kidding.
Fellow NASCAR fan. I could tell because of your profile picture. But definitely be hyper weather aware. You could see quite significant severe weather tomorrow night. Timing for it, the main line will be, unfortunately, nocturnal. You're probably looking at the main line being about 10 p.m. I wouldn't be saying that in front of Lucky, Cameron. That's not a smart idea. You'll get him triggered. Now he will definitely go crazy with you on NASCAR. I'm not one to be kind of like, what do I say, competitive NASCAR. Let's see what Nam says here. Gracious day. Yep, there you go. All right, so just putting it out there, the NAM model might be high risk caliber. I don't think we will actually see it, but just that right there, we get a sounding in front of it here. Let's see. We're going to look at this together. I'm switching the scene before it changes. There you go. Ooh, wow. It would definitely depend on the bust mode. See, that's something that people don't realize with high risks a lot of the time. Once you make that jump from a moderate to a high risk, a lot of it is about the bust scenario. How many scenarios are there on this underperforming? Right now, there's way too many. Okay, we have overconvection. We have 2 lines that could form. We have not enough semi-discrete supercells. We have the line being too linear. Instability not being far enough north. Too much cloud cover. There's way too many to actually warrant an actual high risk. But just if the NAM model were to actually happen, it would probably be a high risk caliber event. But like I said, once you make that jump from moderate to high risk, it depends a lot on fail modes and bust modes, on if, like I just explained there, Is there a chance for these storms to be linear? Is there a chance for them to be not as semi-discrete? Is there a chance the warm sector doesn't go as much north or something like that? So I I don't think we'll actually see a high risk out of it. There's like literally a very low chance, but just again saying this single model run might actually be a high risk caliber. Gracious day. So lucky.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to recall the last time I have ever seen the NAM model agree with the HRRR. Like
Oh,
not
they
not
are?
not the NAM 3K, the freaking NAM 12K, the actual NAM model that's not a high resolution cam model agree with a HRRR cam model.
I don't I don't remember because never.
Normally, I swear the NAM model is like the RAP model where it just prints rain everywhere on the risk. As long as you're not a Joey Logano fan, we cool. Cameron, how did he win? How did he freaking win the 2024 championship? I would have been fine with almost anybody else. I really would have. I'm a little upset how the season ended because personally, I think it was one of the best seasons. I'm really not. I'm really upset with how our NASCAR season ended. Sorry to get off topic, y'all. Like
Man.
Joey's cool and all, sure, but I mean,
Yes.
come on,
Yeah, it's the system, bro.
it is. He's a
I'll
cool
tell you.
dude, but come on, man. There was a lot of other drivers that really earned it, like really earned it.
Oh yeah.
How
We know
far
who.
does the zero Z wrap? Yeah, see, this is what I expected more from the Nam. See, rain everywhere. That's what I expected more from the Nam, but the Nam didn't show that. I heard that they may be discontinuing the wrap model. I don't know if they are, but if they are, I don't blame them. That's like the one model run that I think I would be perfectly fine with getting out of here. And look, see, look, it breaks up into potentially semi-discrete supercells overnight. And again, look at the instability. I actually think I might be correct with saying that's a high risk caliber event right there on the NAM model run. Alone. If the NAM model run actually happened, I feel like that would be a high risk caliber. Ooh. Now the NAM 3K shows exactly the other scenario of why this won't be a high risk. Ooh, a lot of ingredients, but just overall a very messy, a very, very, very messy line there to start with, but we're getting better. Newest frame just came in. We're getting better. Look at that. But not nearly as potent of ingredients as the HRRR and the NAM model. This is the NAM 3K. The NAM 3K actually looks like one of the better scenarios. Definitely not a best case scenario. Best case scenario would just be the entire warm sector being covered in rain. So that way no instability gets to be pulled north. But we will see. We'll see what the rest of this has to go or has to show here. Sorry, I've gotten distracted if you couldn't tell. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we got the weed whacker. Major tornado outbreak likely tomorrow. Violent tornadoes.
Oh wow.
That's the weed whacker. Oh, that comment. I'm gonna have to like that comment. That's the only reason why I stay on Twitter. Some people have some awesome sense of humor on there. That was the comment under Reed's post. But there's the weed whacker saying violent tornadoes possible. If the NAM model happens, heck yeah. But that's the thing. We don't know. Because if something like the NAM 3K happens, we could see a significant tornado or two, but it will be nowhere as bad as what the HRRR or the NAM model shows. So, right now, I am fairly confident we will see a moderate risk introduced in this vicinity here. I'm fairly confident we will see a moderate. Which, if I can try to line that up here, it's going to be very zoomed out. Maybe something kind of like that. That might be a little bit too large, but generally something like that is where I think we could see a moderate risk. Florence, Alabama. I think you are, you're north. The more north you are, the better. The more north you are, the better. But I don't think you will be in the clear 4 tomorrow. We'll probably be looking at a brief spin-up tornado or two, 60 to possibly 70 mile an hour winds, and 1 inch hail. Both, Ben. I think we could see it for both. I think we could see a 45 sig wind and a 15 sig tor. Lucky.
Yeah.
After closer inspection, HRRR has you getting a tornado at 1 p.m. Sunday. You could get a tornado at 1 p.m. Sunday. Like, literally, the freaking core of the supercell goes over your house. You should go look at it. 01Z's rendering. Right on to the next one, right? 0Z just finishes, and we're like, okay, next. That is actually really a really good idea. Because typically we have a lot of changes between model runs that are 48 hours out and 18 hours out with the HRRR. We could see very substantial changes. And the 01Z is going to go out far enough, which we should have time. We should have time to see most of that model run. So just to compare the two, this is 11Z Saturday. We're going to go all the way out to 11Z Saturday. We're going to flip the two here. Okay, that's 11Z on both. Old, well, kind of old, new. More capping on the 01Z HRRR. But also more instability. So, my biggest question is, where is the low pressure? More to the northwest on the old model run. So, it actually sped up. Maybe. This model run just changed on me. It got a new frame in and it screwed it up. Okay, actually the new model run is south. So that would push your warm sector completely south as well. We'll see what that shows. Remember, this only goes out 8 more frames, so we're not going to get into like the peak of our tornado threat. 18 frames will take it out till 3 p.m. 2 p.m. Saturday. 2 p.m. Saturday, if we can stay live for all 8 of those frames to render. I appreciate the support in today's live stream. Hopefully you guys have had a great day. Like I said, we'll be live for probably 6+ hours tomorrow. We're going to be looking at starting the live stream at or before 2 p.m. 2 p.m. appears to be probably the latest we will start our live stream. 2 p.m. is going to be this frame right here. That's the latest we could start our live stream is this frame that the HRRR shows. It could be as early as 11 a.m. It could be as late as 2 p.m. Eastern. Definitely leaning towards 2 p.m. Eastern, though that seems like a good start time. Just an early kind of guesstimate at start time.
Tiergy,
Lucky.
I'm probably gonna head out.
Oh man. Can't wait 15 more minutes.
Well, no.
Okay, that's fine. Are
Uh,
you what are you gonna go do?
If you want to mute me.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay. What are you doing though? Okay. It'll probably be like 10. I think it'll only be like 30 minutes. All right, I'll let you talk to chat for a bit and tell them a few things real quick. Okay. Hurry up. 0. Yes. Yes. 0. I don't want people going off there. No. Can I please continue my live stream? Thank you. Okay. You talk to them really quick because I know you're going now.
All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys for tuning to this main stream. 7,600 subs.
Yay!
That is a lot of subscribers. It's a lot of people too.
Yep, still got over 100 people watching, which I really appreciate.
Oh yeah.
We've maintained 100 people ever since like 30 minutes into the live stream.
Yeah.
I hope tomorrow will be the same. And if it's not, I hope that you will be watching other channels to get your information. Don't just completely shut off, YouTube and your meteorologist on TV. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings. If you're not going to watch my stream, please watch somebody else's stream or stay up to date with other ways to receive watches warnings. Which it's fine if you don't watch my live stream. That's fine. I get it. There's better people out there and probably people you trust more. That's perfectly fine. Just please make sure you're watching them. Okay. Lucky, go ahead and say your goodbyes.
All right, y'all. I'm out of here.
Bye, Lucky.
will,
Thanks for tuning in.
I will most likely, y'all will probably see me again on Sunday. Wait,
What about
see me
tomorrow
here-
night?
No, probably not. I gotta fix up my car for Sunday.
Not even at like 11 o'clock?
Bro, I'll be asleep by then. Because Sunday we would have to leave early, wouldn't we?
I
Like, what?
would, not you. You wouldn't have to move until like 1.
Well,
Oh, that's sorry. That's early for Lucky. My bad, chat. My bad. 1 o'clock's early for him. He gets up. Normally he gets up at about 12:30, so 1's pushing it for him. He may not be up at that time. I forgot.
Bro, that's only it depends on what time I go to sleep.
I pretty much finished my day and everything I had to do in my day, and Lucky still wasn't up. I was pretty much done. I literally drove like 4 hours and I came back and this dude was still asleep. Like, come on. I swear, I could literally go to the beach and back and he'll probably still be sleeping.
Oh, man.
I'm going to compare the rest of these model runs and then I'm going to head out too.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all Sunday. I might run into this dude on the road, bro. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I'm going to accidentally run into Lucky. Oh no. Totally won't purposefully go directly to his house, knock on his door, wake him up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and tell him to get the heck outside.
I'll already be outside, bro.
You'll be asleep.
No, I won't, dude.
You're gonna be asleep. I'm not even gonna text you at all. Like if it's a good chase day, I'm actually gonna just go up to your door and knock.
Bro, I'm chasing my own car.
I'm gonna just go up to this dude's door and knock. Get him up.
Now, what we could do?
Why is there less convection on the new HRRR? Tell me why there is less convection. Old, new. Old, new. There's less convection again. Like, come on. This thing's still uptrending. I'm not excited to see what these are going to show tomorrow morning. But, all right, Lucky, thank you for tuning in. I'll let you go because I know you got to go.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. See y'all
Sunday.
whenever.
Sunday.
Probably Sunday.
Sunday.
On the road.
Sunday. It looks good. It looks good, but I'm gonna have to get up a little early, like literally 10. That's normally.
I'm gonna be up at 11 a.m.
10
start.
is so early for Lucky, y'all. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could get up at the time Lucky never gets up at anymore.
Well, I had to because I have school starting
Man.
January 6th.
Sucks
so I
for
get up
you.
at
Bye.
8. Bye.
See you later, brother.
Bye, chat. See you later, brother.
I should call back at 10.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we'll see what these last few frames have to show, and then we're going to call it quits, too. I have some stuff planned for 9:30. I've been trying to get this thing done at 9:30 for the last 3 months, so I'm going to go do it. And then we'll be back on here tomorrow for sure. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it looks like. We will see. I'm trying to get some, I'm going to try to go sleep a little bit early, so maybe my body can naturally wake me up at 8 o'clock. That would be awesome. I'm going to try my best to go to sleep at 12. But, alright. We're still going to wait for these few frames. There's 4 frames left. We can at least see another 2. That's a good question, what lapse rates will be. I actually don't know. I think they will be about 6 to 6.5 from what I've seen on most of our model runs. But I don't know. I'm going to have to go to this model run to see that. There you go. What day is tomorrow? Saturday? Yeah, so that's your lower level lapse.
Tornado warning for Central Mobile County in southwestern Alabama, West Central Baldwin County in southwestern Alabama, Baldwin, and Mobile County in Alabama.
Really? Really? You're kidding. That is for the city of Mobile, Alabama. If you are in the city of Mobile, Alabama, make sure you're in your safe spot. Is that really tornadic, though? Oh, it's over the radar site. It's right here. So if there's a tornado on the ground, it is almost directly over the radar site here. It is near Cruise City Grill, which is just to the west of downtown Mobile. It's near our radar site here. Let's see, near Spring Hill Memorial Gardens as well. That could very easily be down, and we just don't know because it's way too close to our radar site. NAM model run is what you use for lapse rates. So lower level lapse rates may be lacking a bit, but mid levels look like they'll be fine. It should be sufficient enough. Let's go back to our HRRR here. 16Z. Look at the convection difference here. It looks like there's a little bit. This is the old. This is the new. Old looks like there's a little bit more convection over Mississippi and central Louisiana, but less convection over northeastern Texas and eastern Texas as well. Supercell composite comparison. Old, new. Old, new. Looks like the old one has shifted a little bit, or the new one, rather, has shifted west. Next frame, next frame. Still looks pretty good. That is definitely actively uptrending. I'm going to stay live for maybe a little bit longer because of this tornado warning, just to see the area of rotation as it leaves our radar site, see if it's worth staying on longer for. But you guys can obviously see if you're in the city of Mobile, Alabama, you need to be running to your safe spot right now. Remember, a tornado warning means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. Also, remember, you're probably going to see like 30 of these tomorrow, so be ready. I'm sure Mobile won't see 30 of them, but this general area, I'm sure we'll see about 30 tornado warnings in this region tomorrow. It's going to go crazy. A lot of lightning, too, so please be in your safe spot. Definitely do not want to be caught outside in this. This is producing a bunch of lightning. A whole lot of lightning. This is lightning in the last 15 minutes. This thing is electric. Very, very electric. A heck load of lightning. It is probably like consistent flashes out there. You know what? Alabama DOT. We got cameras in there, right? There's no way they don't have cameras in Mobile. I mean, come on. Mobile. If this thing doesn't have cameras in Mobile, that would be pure insanity. Cameras. Go here. Is this live? That's my question. It is. Okay, I'm going to get one that's very close to this storm. I got an alert on this. It says tornado warning. I think this one will be good. I don't know if this is live. It's above my face cam there if I went to the other scene. Let's see. I don't know if this is live, but this is from Alabama Go, which is the government traffic cam site here. And look in the sky. Frequent lightning. Lightning, 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 big lightning. Just frequent lightning there. This is over Mobile, Alabama. Let's see. Let me look a little bit south here. Okay, that's not our area of rotation. This is what was warned right here. See this little area? So if you follow that, it should be coming out somewhere on the top right corner of the radar site, which would be near Tanner Williams Road, just to the southeast of Faith Academy Sports Complex, east of the U.S. Coast Guard, out here, pretty much over our radar site, west of Mobile, Alabama. I don't think this will get any good visual of the actual storm, but I just wanted to show you guys how much frequent lightning it has. So please make sure you are in your safe spot. Like I said, we're probably going to be seeing 30 or so of these tomorrow in Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana all combined. So that beep you heard, that's going to be something that gets annoying tomorrow. We're going to be live for 6 to 14 hours tomorrow covering that threat for severe weather. But right now we have an active tornado warning, which means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground heading towards Mobile, Chickasaw, there you go, and Pritchard in Alabama. So please seek shelter. This is this area here, around where my cursor is. You guys have been under about three tornado warnings today. And I believe both of them produce tornadoes. I'm pretty sure both of them produce tornadoes. We've had 3 tornado warnings in this area. 2 have produced tornadoes, and then this one's trying to. So we have had plenty of tornado warnings in this general area. I'm going to do a poll. Not something we do that often on our channel. Let me go ahead and get a poll running. I'm not going to say what the poll will be. It's going to be a surprise. We're going to see what chat thinks about this here. This will be in this chat. Give me a second to type it out. Okay, there's one answer. I'm curious to see what my chat thinks about this day here. First time I've ran a poll in forever. I want to make sure it's perfect. Okay. Still don't see any good area of rotation there. See if that worked. Yep. I think that worked. There's our poll. We'll see what chat thinks. Oh, Moderate's moving around a lot. But Moderate is staying dominant right now. So again, we still have a tornado warning active out here in Mobile, Alabama. Make sure you are seeking shelter immediately. Again, a tornado warning means the tornado is imminent or on the ground, so please be in your safe spot. I don't see that area of rotation popping out on the other side, which means that it's probably dissipated. If we did get a tornado out of this, it would most likely be directly over the radar site. So if we did see a tornado, it was probably right over, what is this the Coast Guard base? I don't know if that's the Coast Guard base or not. I know there's, I'm assuming it is. I'm assuming it is. I'm assuming it's part of the Coast Guard base there. Which direction is it moving? Northeast? Yes, it's moving directly towards the city of Mobile, Alabama. If we have a tornado, it would be located right at the end of that black line right here at my cursor. It would be right at my cursor, which right now we don't see any clear indication of a tornado on the ground. So just make sure you're still in your safe spot, but I doubt that is, I doubt that's actively producing a tornado right now. 13%, 12%, 13% of people think that tomorrow will be a high risk. 12% of people think that tomorrow will be a high risk. Looks like the majority of you guys are thinking moderate here, which couldn't agree more. But like I said, of course, it's ultimately the SPC's decision, of course. So again, please make sure you are seeking shelter in that tornado warned area. I'm going to give it a little bit longer, and then we're going to conclude stream. Like I said, I have stuff planned, so I apologize to be ending on a tornado warning. It will only have a couple minutes left. Let's see. Yeah, it will have about 18-ish minutes left once we start wrapping things up. I appreciate you returning here, King. Much appreciated seeing you coming back in the chat like that. And yeah, hopefully you're having a great day. Okay, there might be our little area of rotation over West Hill. I know I'm switching radar sites pretty fast here. We'll wait for that to finish. Wait for that to finish scanning in here. We are now at a confirmed warning. The National Weather Service in Mobile, Alabama has confirmed a tornado is on the ground via radar. A damaging tornado and quarter-sized tail. Seek shelter immediately. Tornado has been observed via radar, and I think I see it. I believe I see it. Come on, GR2. Is that going to be it right there? Oh, that's just too contaminated to confirm. How are we confirming this, National Weather Service? Alright, you know what we do? When in doubt, look at a radar site really, really, really far away. There's like no near ones. Oh my word, how are they confirming that? That one's definitely way too far. That one's really too far. Nearest might be north of Panama City. I'm not sure how they are exactly confirming that. Let me just read that one more time here. A confirmed tornado was located over Midtown Mobile, moving east at 30 miles per hour. Damaging tornado and quarter-sized tail confirmed from radar. To repeat, a tornado is on the ground. So this is indeed producing a tornado now. So please be in your safe spot. I think I see the signature here for velocity. It is actually over the University of South Alabama. So I really hope people heeded that warning as it came through. It wasn't the biggest lead time. But it was warned. That's what matters, is the fact that it was warned. So please seek shelter. Let's see here. Okay, that's downtown Mobile. It's definitely not there yet. Forest, do we see... That's Park Forest, not there. I'm trying to see if I got a camera on this, y'all. Where's the interstate? That's I-65 right there. Okay, I do have a few cameras on I-65. But I don't believe any of them are pointing in the right direction here. That might be a good camera to show y'all there. Let's see this one. All right, here's a camera. This is on I-65. I don't know exactly which direction this is looking, but there's at least a general look at your storm. You can see all the lightning around our camera flashing like crazy. Flashing like absolutely crazy there. Okay, that is most likely your debris signature. Right there. I don't think that's the correct scan, though. I can't confirm that. Okay, it does have a ZDR drop. Okay, yeah, that might be a tornado ongoing right here. That's now over, wasn't that the national park that we talked about? National trails here. What is that? Glen Sebastian Nature Trails, rather. I believe there's a tornado right over that area. South of Alpine Hills in Alabama. That's west of Mobile, Alabama. If you are in downtown Mobile, Alabama, make sure you're seeking shelter. You are indeed included in this tornado warning. So please seek shelter. I don't see that debris signature continuing, so... Oh, well, maybe it was just glitched. Nope, I do not see that continuing right now. We'll wait for the velocity scan to see what velocity shows. Oh, there it is, over West Hill from a while ago. Let's get our analysis radar, because this is just way too difficult to tell. Was that really enough to confirm it? I mean, good on the National Weather Service, because they were right. But that corruptive scan was enough to observe the warning. And you could see, moved up to the northwest, started to weaken, and I assume it was still on the ground. Then you could still see your debris signature there. And then it's dissipated. CC is a tornado on the ground, as long as it's a CC drop. CC stands for correlation coefficient, which scans, that's radar scanning in the atmosphere. And once it scans an object, it sends it back and it correlates to the radar on what the radar is picking up, in the air or near the surface or really far up in the atmosphere. So you can see all this like reddish pinkish color. Pretty much all of that is light rain. And then some of it gets to heavier rainfall over here where you start to pick up on some yellowish colors and you're still relatively staying around red. Blue here, that's all clear air. That's inflow going into the storm, providing the storm basically winds to sustain itself, and its tornado. And that's what's keeping it alive. And once that cuts off, which is literally right now, you can see that inflow is already starting to die out. And now our tornado has most likely lifted. I'm pretty confident it's lifted. So that's just winds in front of the supercell. That's the CC in front. So it could be a bunch of different things. It could be 2x4s. If you're really unlucky, it could be complete sides of homes. It could be very large trees, depending on what's correlated on it. For instance, the April 26th, 2024 Elkhorn, Nebraska tornado, that literally broke CC. So the CC literally looked like it was almost clear. It was such large objects being picked up, it was actually becoming clear on my GR2 color table because it was so much debris, such large debris. If you saw video of that, the Lincoln, Nebraska tornado as well, you could see all the debris on and around the tornado. So the more objects being picked up, the darker your CC is going to be getting here on GR2 at least. There's different CC color tables, but this is the one that I like. It's a normal CC color table. I don't see any area of rotation anymore, which is good news. This storm is likely going outflow dominant. It's going outflow dominant, which means the hook echo has occluded up into the base of the supercell, and it's now pushing winds outward away from our radar site now, and that's creating a bowing segment, which will increase damaging winds and significantly decrease the tornado threat. We could still see a spin-up tornado on the north side where we just had an observed tornado, but the environment isn't too favorable for that. The entire reason on why this formed into a tornadic supercell is actually because of cell mergers here. Most likely that updraft to the south, multiple updrafts to the south. You can see here, if we play this loop, you'll see an updraft here merges into the storm. Another cell here merges into the storm, another cell here, another cell here, another cell here, another cell here. And basically what that did is it just continues to feed the storm more energy, more updrafts, so it can sustain itself for longer. And eventually it began to rotate. And eventually produced a tornado. This is what it looks like here on I-65. Very windy. You could see some kind of horizontal rain here. These almost want to call them rain shafts, but that's not the word for them. Just rain bands. That's what we'll call them. Rain bands on the road. That was a big flash of lightning. Rain. I don't know if there's a specific term for that. But we'll just call it rain. How about that? Is that good? Is that good enough for y'all? What's up, Levi? I also saw Andre in here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Andre, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you in here. Hopefully you're doing well as well. Let's see here. Yeah, we extended our briefing. We were supposed to end 13 minutes ago, but we had to get a tornado warning, per usual. And I didn't want to end on a tornado warning that was observed. Especially not one that's heading towards Mobile. But like I said, I do believe this supercell's done. It may have an opportunity to recycle after it passes Mobile. But if you are in downtown Mobile watching this, stay in your safe spot. Whilst the radar isn't picking up on a tornado, that doesn't fully mean it's not there. It's also fully rain wrapped, so if you're trying to look for the tornado, you will not see it. It's completely embedded inside of that inflow notch, as well as your book and vortex. Nope, not book and vortex. My bad. Bow echo. That's the word I'm looking for. Bow echo. It's getting late. It's completely embedded inside your bow echo and your inflow notch there. Bookend vortex. That's completely different. Oh, shoot. Probably don't want a tunnel camera because we're not going to be able to see anything. Trying to see if we could get a shelf cloud view here. Oh, is that a shelf cloud view? It's a bit difficult to tell, but I'm pretty sure that's your whole bow echo there. I think that is your shelf cloud there going into Mobile, Alabama. Give me just a moment, y'all. I did not expect to have a tornado warning for Mobile today. Especially not a confirmed one. All right, let me bring that back. Yes, I'm still watching. I still can't tell if this is a loop. I feel like it might be a loop. Let's see if it's a loop. I don't see the same semi-truck I saw before. Once I started it. But it's almost live camera. That's what we'll call it. An almost live camera. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream here shortly. I apologize for ending on a confirmed warning here. Hopefully it goes unconfirmed before we actually end. We'll go a bit longer and hope it goes unconfirmed here. Hey! That's what we like to see right there. No longer a confirmed tornado warning. They have maintained that tornado warning, though, for 14 more minutes, which will be... We'll be starting to conclude the live stream in, like, 8 minutes or so. I just saw this little area of rotation. I'm just going to point it out just in case. It's not really rotating that much. You can see these outbound wind speeds going away from the radar like this, and you have some inbound wind speeds here that could easily be associated with the supercell up here. But we'll just keep an eye on that little indent, see if it does anything over like the next 6 minutes. This particular storm will be nowhere near Houston. But we will be tracking a severe weather threat. This outlook you see here is tomorrow, and we will be tracking that. That will include Houston, which is why on the thumbnail you see that all the way down into southeast Texas. And then for people on the East Coast who also saw the thumbnail as well, we are going to be tracking a severe weather threat on day 3. So you got this big severe threat, which this is probably going to be a widespread tornado and severe and significant damaging wind outbreak. And then day 3, we're going to most likely have a couple tornadoes and widespread damaging winds across that slight risk area. Go back over here to Mobile again. Yeah, I mean, you could see that maybe a little notch trying to get going around there. But thankfully, I think it's over water right now, and if it does do anything, it will be a water spout, and it's going to be very brief if it actually tries to rotate. Let's go to our analysis radar, because I can read that a bit better. You can see NROT, which basically combines inflow and outbound wind speeds to a general color to tell you how strong the rotation is. Does have some very small signals of rotation here in that blue, but it's not tight. You can see up here with the one that it produced a tornado, it was also not tight. The reasoning for that is because we were right at the radar site. Actually, here it is right here. That other one actually just had some NROT because it was contamination. Oh, is it contamination though? That's not even rotating. NROC go a little crazy right there. But yeah, for this one, it was way too close for the for NROC to pick up on it. It was right at the radar site. I'll end that poll in like about a minute, so if you haven't voted on it, you can vote on it if you want. It looks like moderate is going to win by a milestone and a half. For anyone who's wanting me to look at specific days, you can simply just look at the Storm Prediction Center. That's your latest and best information. They will also be updating it at, what is it, 7 a.m.? I gotta go get me some sleep if I want to be even remotely smart for tomorrow's severe threat. I'll be confusing storms with, like, cloud cover or something. I'll go on satellite imagery and point out clouds and call it a severe storm or something. Well, I mean, you can do that. That's how tired I am. See, you could do that, and I'm tired. I've had a long day. I'm sorry, y'all. I got up at 5 a.m. I stayed up till 1 a.m. last night. I had 4 hours of freaking sleep, so I apologize if I'm starting to make no sense now. That's why I got to get some good sleep tonight. I'm starting to make absolutely no sense. It comes out, if it comes out in 10 minutes, I mean, that's right. Like, 10 minutes is right when I'll be ending the live stream. I'll look at it myself. I can promise you that. But I don't even really want to show... I don't like to show other outlooks on live streams because it gets people confused. If I show the CSU outlook, the NATOcast outlook, the Storm Prediction Center outlook, and StormNet, you know, all these different outlooks here, people are going to get very confused on which one's official. So I prefer to just show the SPC, and that's it. In terms of outlooks. Still a tornado warning for Mobile. Mobile, you're probably experiencing, I would assume, 30-mile-per-hour winds right now. Very heavy rain and extremely frequent lightning. Very, very, very frequent lightning is occurring with this storm. Very frequent lightning. That is getting slightly better organized, but it's just a small area of rotation. It's nothing that's going to be worth the National Weather Service warning. Okay, there we go. You're in the enhanced risk for severe weather. You're probably going to be upgraded to a moderate risk 4 out of 5 at some point in the one of the 2 morning updates tomorrow. Strong, potentially even long-tracked tornadoes. 75 pushing 80-mile-per-hour winds and 1.5 to 2 inch hail will all be possible. But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. It would be greatly appreciated. We're getting close to concluding our live stream. We have just lost our tornado warning. If you are in Mobile, you are safe to come out of your safe spot, but do not go outside and do not go near windows or doors. Still stay in generally the interior room of your home away from doors and windows, as you still are in a severe storm capable of producing, what, 1 inch hail? And 60-mile-per-hour winds. So please stay indoors away from doors and windows. Also, very frequent lightning, which is why you need to stay away from those doors and windows, as well as do not go outside. And I'm going to look at this one last time. Yeah, see how these wind speeds or velocity signatures, the inbounds are going like this and the outbounds are going like this? That will promote a more linear and a more damaging wind threat. Now, with this up here north of Mobile, you can see those inbound winds are trying its best to wrap around, and the outbound winds are trying its best to do the same. So we could still get a spin-up tornado, either from the very tail end of that damaging wind threat, or the very tail top of that damaging wind threat. one or the other here as it goes towards Spanish Fort, Alabama. So if you are in that severe, towards the end of that severe especially, you definitely want to be near your safe spot just in case this does go tornado warned again. But all right, here's our subscriber count again. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please go ahead and do so. And also hit the notification bell, set it to all so you know when I go live tomorrow. Like I said, we should be live at or before 2 p.m. Eastern. We will be live for at least 6 hours tomorrow. That's the plan. And yeah, like I said, we could start as early as like 11 a.m., but most likely we're going to aim for that 2 p.m. Eastern mark. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Share the channel with family, friends, social media. And like I said, subscribe. It was greatly appreciated. Almost reached 4,000 people. 4,000 people with word of severe weather in this live stream. All because of you guys hitting that like button, sharing it, and subscribing to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your night. We're going to go ahead and switch on over to the ending screen now that we have lost that tornado warning and are concluding our briefing. Just one last look here, though, at your SPC outlook for tomorrow. Again, if you are in the yellow level 2 or orange level 3 out of 5 threats, be hyper weather aware from 6 a.m. all the way until that cold front passes you. The cold front will pass earliest on the west risk, and then the more east you go, it's going to pass later. For instance, central Alabama won't be in the clear until near 5 a.m. Eastern time Sunday morning. And yeah, that's going to be it. Again, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, helping me reach so many people with the word of severe weather, both today and also for the severe threat tomorrow and Sunday as well. Went over quite a lot in this live stream. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into this live stream and helping me reach so many people. This would not be possible at all without your help and your support, so it's extremely appreciated. And I hope to see you guys back in here for tomorrow's live stream. Just a quick shout out to our mods like Legacy, Catman, and Carson, as well as Pete for modding the chat and sticking around and helping me do these live streams very frequently. And once again, we'll be live tomorrow at or just before 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to go ahead and end that poll as well. So yeah, stay safe, watch severe weather, and definitely make sure you're watching that SPC site, especially for tomorrow if you live in the risk area. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. stay safe, watch severe weather, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Have a great rest of your night.